Live from San Diego, this is the Fox 5 Morning News at 8.
Chrissy, thank you. Still ahead on Fox 5 is your teenager suffering from depression or just moody. The questions parents need to ask their kids.
Parents, listen to this. The American Academy of Pediatrics came out this week with guidelines that all teens ages 12 and up should now be screened for depression. Psychotherapist Abigail Burd, who works with teens and young adults, is here with more. Good morning and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Why did it take so long? You messaged me yesterday and I saw this. I mean, finally.
Right. And so we were here, I guess it was a couple years ago, I was talking about how all adults should be screened for depression. Well, of course teens are. We know that all that's going on for them these days. If you look at them biologically, there's changes in their bodies, their brains, their hormones. Socially, there's more pressures on them at school, socially, to get along with people. So of course.
I was reading an article somewhere that had said the amount of suicides for teenagers has just jumped over the past few years. We look at teenagers as being moody, they're just acting like a teen, but there could be something really real going on with them.
Absolutely. So that's the question for parents. Those things that we're already expecting, they're going to isolate, pull away from their parents. So developmentally, it is appropriate that they're starting to become individuals and individuate. But when is it clinical depression? Unfortunately, we think that it's far more prevalent than we see. So we think that at least 1 in 5 teens has clinical depression. So that's 20%.
Wow.
But we think maybe at best 50% are diagnosed, and what's worse, only 2 out of 3 are not being treated.
When I was pregnant, I remember with my last pregnancy, they were now screening for depression. I think it was probably like a postpartum or something. So they asked a bunch of questions and I felt silly kind of doing it. Is that the same process that they would do with the teenagers? How will this all work if this actually gets implemented?
Yeah, so it would be very similar to that. And so the thinking is that perhaps it'll be a little bit easier for a teen to circle something on a piece of paper, a tablet.
But will they? Do they want to share that kind of information?
So I think that's actually where parents come in, and where you're doing your job is to help people start to talk about it, to really fight the stigma and the barriers that are keeping people from asking, how are you really feeling? And like you said, I think the most important thing is to ask about suicide. A lot of people are afraid that if you bring up suicide, then I don't want to put that idea in their head. It just doesn't work that way.
How do you have that? You have a teen at home, and we know teenagers. I don't have a teenager yet. I'm slightly afraid of the day when they become teenagers. And you have a teenager that just seems sad. Seems upset, just doesn't seem right. How do you have that conversation?
And then if I can just detour for a second,
yes?
They may not seem sad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of people who work with teens will tell you it doesn't look like your typical depression. In teens, it may look like they're irritable or they're angry. And this also depends on culture. There's studies that say that African American teens don't look depressed. They say that they're having trouble sleeping or they complain about social interactions.
Okay, you are talking about almost every teenager I know, except like the ones that don't react this way. But all teenagers have trouble sleeping. All of them have some type of attitude problem. I was a teenager I remember what I did to my parents as well. So how does a parent know, hey, my teen is just being a teen, or we need to get our child some help?
So it is just starting to talk. So if we go back to suicide, I want all parents, teachers, coaches, anybody who talks to teens to not be afraid to ask.
Ask them what?
Okay, so one of the basic questions is, have you been having any thoughts that life isn't worth living? Have you been having any thoughts about wanting to hurt yourself? Have you ever felt like you want to go to sleep and not wake up?
So those kind of questions, if you see that the answers just don't fit and something doesn't feel right, is to reach out and get some help.
Absolutely. So if they answer yes to any of those, please work on a safety plan, connect them to professional help. If you have any lethal means like guns in your house, please make sure they're locked up and secured.
Okay, I want to get some information out, Abby, to any of our parents or friends or anything. There are support systems here in San Diego, so what can a parent do if they need help?
So the American Academy of Pediatrics, they want to be the first stop. So this is the people that you see every year. You may have a relationship. They may be knowledgeable about what resources are available within your insurance.
Okay.
And then this is a great resource. I'm so excited about the crisis text line.
Okay.
Okay, so we have had suicide call lines, phone numbers that people can call. but how many teens you know would be more comfortable using a text message
Yes.
than placing an actual live phone call? So
Correct.
when you're texting, you could do it in a room and your whole family's there and nobody will ever know. So you just had the number up at 741-741. I would love everybody to save that number.
You text hello
Yep.
to 741-741, and what happens?
So then a counselor, a volunteer will respond right away, 24/7. It doesn't matter if it's 3 a.m. You say anything, you say, I don't know what to say, and they'll be like, that's fine, you're doing great, what's going on? And so you just text back and forth, and there's someone there. So if it's the middle of the night, you don't want to tell your parents, you don't want to tell anyone, it's someone anonymous, just reach out, send a quick
This is great.
hi text, and then you can have
Can we
someone
put
helping
that
you.
number up one more time, just in case, because I know you're busy in the morning? Okay, it's very simple. Hello, text hello to 741-741. That could change people's lives right there, Abby.
I hope so. I hope so.
Thank you for being here.
My
Really
pleasure.
important conversation. The more we talk about it, the better off we're all going to be.
Well, that's it. And
Yeah.
then we know that it's okay to ask for help. It's
It
okay
is.
to say we're feeling
It
depressed.
is. All right, 8:20. Thank you for being here.